Hello. If you're like me and you're livid over the kind of events that have been taking place, particularly in Minnesota with the immigration and the customs and the border patrol and the unnecessary deaths of people that just are out to be upstanders. If you're so tired of that and you want something to do, can I make a suggestion? Stay off social media. Don't engage people, because the ones that are there, a good portion of them are going to be your friends, and you may not want to know how they feel, and changing their mind isn't going to change a thing. So I offer this as a separate solution. This is a phone, and I know that a lot of you are going to laugh at me, and I'm an old guy, but that phone has only one way of communicating, and that's with your voice. And your voice has to be heard, because your voice has emotion. Your voice is the one that needs to connect to another human being on the other side. People need to hear how upset you are, and they can't always get that from something that's written. So here's a good plan for you, and I challenge you to do the same thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to call my representative, and then the rest of them, all of them, all of the ones that need to be called. Because once they got elected, no matter where they got elected from, they're in Congress, and they're being funded by taxpayer money, and they all took an oath to support and defend the Constitution. And that is what's on trial here. And they have to take a side, one or the other. And you and I are going to demand that they do. And here's how we're going to do it. There's this website out there called the Congress Call List. It is pretty up to date, okay? And there are some choices here. So one of the things that I'm going to recommend that you do is pare this down to something that you're going to need. For example, you don't need to call your own congressman if they feel the same way that you do. You need to call somebody who you can affect by changing their mind. So the Republicans notoriously have bad behavior. And instead of calling all offices, because the Senate doesn't get elected in except for every 6 years, you're to call somebody who's worried about the election this year. Okay, so that's a House member, because they get elected every 2 years. And in terms of turning that over, that's important to them. Now, once you've got this list, it's going to be quite long. And they only give you a certain amount per page, so you have 1 to 25 of 223 entries. That's a lot of pages, and that's live on the internet. So you're going to make another choice here. I would suggest that you save it in one of these forms, either CSV, segmented values, or Excel. They're both going to be basically the same thing, because what you're going to do is you're going to click on it, and it's going to say, do you want to save this? And you're going to save this as a file somewhere where you can find it, please. And I've already done it before, so I'm not going to bother. And then you're going to open it up inside Microsoft Excel, or like I did, because I don't like paying for things, I put it back on my Google Drive and opened it up in Google Sheets, and I got something like this. This is your Congress call list. It came in just like this. There's only a couple of changes that I made to this list, and that is this. At the end, past the phone number portion, I just added date and result, so I can keep track of what I'm doing. Because I want to call all of them, and I want to call all of them and express my opinion. So the next step, of course, is to have your opinion ready. Make sure you have your thoughts written down. I'm the kind of person that when somebody challenges me, I can't just come back and say something, because they'll disarm me. Not all of us are good at just debating on the spot, but we still have an opinion, and it still has to be heard. So make sure that it's written down there. You can use mine or whatever you can see in mine, but make sure that it's something that is your own. If you do that, then you will be honoring the people that went before you. And I know the next thing that you're going to say, and I agree. Not everybody can sit down for that amount of time and just make those calls, but you can make them when you got some time. And a lot of people are going to say, I don't dial the phone. There's a whole generation They'll get pissed off when they look at this, because when they make calls, they find them in their contacts and then they make calls. Let's go back and see what we can do about that. If you export, I know exactly, from your Android or Google contacts, if you export a file from that, you will be able to get one of these. This is a Microsoft Excel file with the headings that come with all of your contacts inside the contacts file of the phone. With those headings, you can copy and paste the names. In this case, the names are last and first, so I put them all in the last name category. And these are not things I copied. And the phone number. Copy the names and the phone number and put them in the appropriate value spots. For example, phone 1 value is for their one phone number, and that's going to be for the contact list. Once you have that, and you have pasted everything in and they all line up, I added a few more things. Organization, organization title, organization department. That's all part of what came out of my Google contacts file. And I just put House of Representatives, Republican, and I copied over from the last list their state, just so if that comes up in conversation, you know what you're doing. And you're just going to go to your Google Calendar, which in my case looks like this. You're going to hit import. You're going to import that file, and this is what you're going to get. Okay? This is all the people that you just imported, and in Google, if they happen to have it available, you're going to be able to find that you might be able to get a picture of them. You know, that's just going to be put in by Google. This is not something that is part of what they do or what the Congress has done. This is stuff that's available for these people. So you know basically who you're going to talk to. All right, so if you're of that generation and that's the way you got to do it, go for it. All right, just make sure you're doing something to honor these people. We only need just a few people to listen to reason and change what's going on. Make your voice heard. Thank you.